Few people realize, but the biggest mistake in modern life isn't failing, it's forgetting who you are. From an early age, we're taught to obey, to please, to survive. But no one teaches us how to live. And that's why so many feel empty, even when everything is right on paper. The truth is harsh. You can have a job, a home, and a routine, and still feel lost. And do you know why? Because your soul wasn't born to function like a machine. It was born to expand, to create, to manifest himself destination. There comes a point in life when you need to stop and ask yourself, who am I really when the world goes silent? The answer lies within you, inner power, not in the expectations of others. The self-knowledge, it's the map that takes you back home, inside yourself. But to follow this path, you need courage to break patterns, faith to walk in the dark, and confidence to stand firm, even when fear tries to take over. What you will learn here is not about beating others, but about beating yourself. You will discover that the true purpose is not about being the best in the world, but about being the best for yourself. And above all, you will understand that change, it's not a threat, it's a rebirth. So brace yourself. What comes next may not be comfortable, but it will remind you of what you've always known. You are too important to live small. Few people realize how much they carry the past on their backs, like a backpack full of rocks. And the strangest thing is that most don't even know what's inside. Their memories, guilt, regrets, fragments of experiences that become invisible chains. Self-knowledge is the first step to seeing what holds you back and what drives you, because change begins when you decide to look within. It is there, in silence, that true inner power, the one capable of reconstructing everything that the unconscious tried to hide. Life is not a rehearsal. You are not here by chance. Purpose of your existence is to win. But winning doesn't mean competing with others, but rather mastering yourself. A winner is someone who has learned to guide their own story with awareness and courage. When you understand this, manifestation ceases to be a distant desire and becomes a state of presence. It is the moment when you realize that the destination you don't write with luck, but with choices. And yes, the unconscious can be treacherous. It convinces you that it's too late, that you can't do it, that mistakes define you. But they don't. The past only has power as long as you feed it. What stops you from moving on isn't old pain, it's the insistence on repeating it. When you decide to stop reliving old scenes and start acting differently, the game changes. And it's at that moment that life begins to test you. The human mind is a magnificent tool, but also a minefield. Within us, there is a primitive part, the so-called reptilian brain, which reacts to any sign of change as if it were a real danger. It is the guardian of survival, but without realizing it, it becomes the jailer of growth. This ancient structure convinces you that it's safer to stay where you are, that the unknown is too risky. But staying safe is the same as choosing boredom over purpose. Survival may keep the body alive, but it will never make the soul flourish. This system, geared towards self-protection, has a cruel habit, fixating on the negative. It repeats fearful thoughts like invisible mantras. It won't work. It's not for me. That's just the way I am. It's the kind of voice that steals energy, enthusiasm, and courage. Self-knowledge is the antidote. because it teaches you to observe these thoughts without identifying with them. And the more awareness you gain, the more inner power awaken. It's not about eliminating fear, but about learning to act even when it's present. That's the real manifestation. Transform the impulse to flee into a step forward. So, challenge the instinct that wants to keep you in the same place. Destination, you don't achieve it by running from risks, but by walking through them. Every time you say yes to a new experience, your brain understands that the danger has passed and starts working in your favor. Want a practical tip? Choose something that scares you. Public speaking, moving to a new city, starting a project, and take the first step today. Don't wait for the fear to go away to act, because it's action that dissolves fear. If you want to continue learning to master your mind and expand your consciousness, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Your awakening begins now. Living for the sake of living isn't living, it's just existing. How many people do you know who spend all day complaining about life, yet remain stuck in the same routine for years? The alarm clock rings, the body wakes up, but the soul remains asleep. And this is where the danger lies. Death in life. When someone stops dreaming, feeling and moving, destination becomes stagnant. The manifestation goes out, the purpose shut up, and the inner power weakens. It's as if the person breathes, but no longer inspires anything. There's nothing wrong with stability, but there's a lot wrong with living without enthusiasm. The world is full of people who died at 25 but won't be buried until 79. That's a harsh but true statement. If you feel like you're living on autopilot, it's a sign, a call from your own soul to change course. Self-knowledge is the map that shows you where to start, and the first step is simple. Question what you're accepting out of fear of trying something new. Change it starts when you recognize that you deserve more than just paying bills. Want a practical formula to awaken your life in the next 12 months? Start by reducing noise and increasing focus. Reduce distractions, eliminate energy drainers, and dedicate 10 minutes a day to planning something that excites you. It could be a new project, a course, a trip, anything that shakes you out of inertia. The key is to take small, consistent steps, not big, empty promises. And if you want to follow this journey of expansion and learn how to manifest a life of purpose, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications right now. Because your soul was not born to live in silence. We live in an age of noise. Everyone talks, gives their opinion, argues, but almost no one listens. And yet it is in the silence that self-knowledge manifests itself more powerfully. When you stop trying to control everything and start simply observing, something magical happens. The noise of your mind gives way to the voice of your soul. This voice is your inner power, the guide who knows the way even when you feel lost. The destination. There's no need to rush. He needs clarity, and clarity only arises in silence. Thinking less doesn't mean acting without reflection, but rather stopping sabotaging yourself with endless doubts. Talking less isn't silencing the world. It's listening to what the universe is trying to tell you. When you combine faith, action, and trust, manifestation begins to take shape. There is no achievement without belief. And I'm not talking about blind belief, but conviction in yourself. When you say I can do it and feel it with your whole body, the universe gets the message. Purpose begins to align and opportunities move your way. A change is the greatest test of faith there is. It requires courage to step out of the known and walk toward what does not yet exist. But that's the only way growth happens. With risk, with surrender, with trust. If you want to strengthen this faith in yourself, make a simple pact. Every day, dedicate 5 minutes to listening to yourself. Breathe, observe, feel, and when doubt arises, remember, the power that creates worlds also lives within you. Stay here with me and turn on channel notifications, because in the next videos, you'll learn how to turn that faith into real results. Everyone wants to change, but few have the patience to stay. Most start out strong, but give up at the first setback. But manifestation is not an event. It's a process. The universe doesn't reward those who do a lot one day, but those who do a little every day. Change true is subtle, silent, and happens when you are able to repeat good choices even when no one is watching. That's where the inner power is consolidated and the destination begins to align with who you came to be. Consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's easy to get excited at first, but hard to keep going once the enthusiasm fades. And that's precisely where the magic happens, when you keep going, even when you don't feel like it. When you take action, even when there aren't immediate results. This discipline is the fuel for manifestation. It's like watering a plant. You don't see it grow every day, but one day it blooms. Change requires perseverance, and the purpose requires commitment. So before you give up, remember, everything great takes time. Results don't come to those who try, but to those who persist. Being consistent is telling the universe, I'm ready. And the universe responds by opening paths. Do what needs to be done, even if it's small, but do it every day. This is spiritual and practical maturity. And if you want to learn how to maintain this consistency on your journey, self-knowledge, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who needs to hear it today. Because the world needs more people who don't give up on themselves. Now that you understand the power that exists within you, there is no way to go back to living on autopilot. Self-knowledge awakens, and when you awaken, everything changes. You begin to see how capable you've always been, how much you've always had the inner power necessary to transform your reality. The destination, it's not a place you arrive at. It's something you create with every decision, every action, every conscious choice. And it all begins the moment you decide to believe again. So tell me, how much longer will you postpone the life you want to live? How many more times will you pretend you don't feel the call of change? The universe doesn't reward those who wait, it rewards those who move. And if there's one thing you need to understand once and for all, it's that you are important. Too important to hide, to keep quiet, to give up. Manifestation. It happens when you recognize your worth and start acting on it. Consistency is key. The purpose, it's the path. And the power is yours. If this video sparked something inside you, don't ignore it. Write in the comments what you'll change starting today. And if you want to continue learning to master your mind, strengthen your faith, and create the life you were born to live, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and activate notifications. because the world needs to see who you really are, and the new version of you is ready to be born.